Indiana State Life and Health Insurance Exam. Which of the following is not an unfair claim settlement practice? Failing to acknowledge and act promptly with respect to an insurance claim, compelling an insured to initiate a lawsuit, be offering less on an insurance claim, failing to accept or deny a claim within reasonable time after proof of loss is submitted, needing written documentation of claim details. Needing written documentation of claim details. A producer's license may be denied, suspended, or revoked if the license engages in replacement of an existing policy, is found guilty of misrepresentation in obtaining the license, files for bankruptcy, does not meet a sales quota, is found guilty of misrepresentation in obtaining the license. According to Indiana's mammography coverage statute, which of these benefits are considered mandatory in every medical expense policy? 1. Baseline mammogram for women between ages 30 to 34. 1 mammogram every year for women aged 35 and older. 1 mammogram every year for women aged 40 and older. 2 mammograms every year for those considered women at risk. 1 mammogram every year for women aged 40 and older. S is a life insurance policy owner who enters into a written agreement to receive immediate cash in exchange for the sale transfer of her life insurance policy. This agreement is referred to as a 1035 exchange viatical settlement equity cash agreement cash conversion. Viatical settlement. In the event of employment termination, a person covered by a group policy also has the right to convert such coverages to an individual policy within ______ days without proving insurability. 1530-3145. 31. J chooses a monthly premium payment mode on his whole life insurance policy. Which of these statements is correct? The gross premium is higher on a monthly payment mode as compared to being paid annually. The gross premiums is lower on a monthly payment mode as compared to being paid annually. The cash value from a life policy paid on a monthly basis builds quicker than one paid on an annual basis. The face amount of a life policy paid on a monthly basis is higher than one paid on an annual basis. The gross premium is higher on a monthly payment mode as compared to being paid annually. What does a certificate of authority allow? A non-resident producer to conduct insurance business, an insurance company to exceed coverage limits that the guarantee fund covers, an insurance company to conduct insurance business in Indiana, a resident producer to sell insurance contracts. An insurance company to conduct insurance business in Indiana. The insurance commissioner may suspend, revoke, or refuse to renew a producer's license for which of the following reasons? Producer files for bankruptcy. Producer engages in the replacement of an existing policy. Producer has used fraudulent, coercive, or dishonest practices. Producer does not meet a sales quota. Producer has used fraudulent, coercive, or dishonest practices. The Common Disaster Clause provides that if both the insured and sole named beneficiary were to die in a common accident, which of the following is true? This clause provides the payment of proceeds to the insured's estate. This clause provides the payment of proceeds to the beneficiary's estate. The estate taxes in the insured's estate may be reduced. The estate taxes in the beneficiary's estate may be reduced. This clause provides the payment of proceeds to the insured's estate. Q purchases a $500,000 life insurance policy and pays $900 in premiums over the first 6 months. Q dies suddenly and the beneficiary is paid $500,000. This exchange of unequal values reflects which of the following insurance contract features? Aleatory adhesion, unilateral consideration. Aleatory. What is considered a valid reason for small businesses to insure the lives of its major shareholders? To provide an income for the surviving dependents, reduce the company's tax liability to pay for final expenses. Fund a buy-sell agreement. Fund a buy-sell agreement. What is considered to be a characteristic of a conditionally renewable health insurance policy? Premiums may increase at time of renewal. Premiums may increase at any time. Policy may be renewed at the discretion of the insured. Policy may be amended by insured at any time. Premiums may increase at time of renewal. Which of these actions is taken when a policy owner uses a life insurance policy as collateral for a bank loan? Revocable assignment, beneficiary change, irrevocable assignment, collateral assignment. Collateral assignment. Which of the following consists of an offer, acceptance, and consideration? Warranty estoppel contract representation. Contract. What is the purpose of the Indiana Life and Health Insurance Guarantee Association? Ensures that claims filed against insolvent insurance companies will be paid. Enforces Indiana's insurance regulations. Approves policy forms. Underwrites high-risk insurance applicants. Ensures that claims filed against insolvent insurance companies will be paid. When a policy owner cash surrenders a universal life insurance policy in its early years, this may be considered a red flag for a Federal Fair Credit Act violation, Title 18 fraud violation, anti-money laundering violation, unfair trade practice violation. Anti-money laundering violation. The Indiana Children's Health Insurance Program provides children of need with health benefits until the child reaches age _____ or becomes financially ineligible, whichever is earlier, 18, 19, 20, 21. 19. An applicant must receive an outline of coverage when an application is taken for a endowment annuity, Medicare supplement policy, universal life policy. Medicare supplement policy. An example of unfair discrimination would be declining an insurance application because of involvement in a hazardous occupation, offering the same terms of coverage to different policy owners in the same risk classification, offering different terms of coverage for different policy owners having the same risk classification, issuing a policy at a substandard rate because of poor health. Offering different terms of coverage for different policy owners having the same risk classification. If an insurance company issues a disability income policy that it cannot cancel, for which it cannot increase premiums, the type of renewability that best describes this policy is called non-cancelable, conditionally renewable, cancelable, guaranteed renewable. Non-cancelable. What would be an accurate definition of controlled business? Insurance business that is written on the producer's own life, property, or interests. Insurance business obtained by an agent through coercion, intimidation, or boycotting. Insurance business that is obtained through false advertising. Insurance business that is obtained by replacing an existing policy through misrepresentation. Insurance business that is written on the producer's own life, property, or interests. At what point must a life insurance applicant be informed of their rights that fall under the Fair Credit Reporting Act? Before the appointment is scheduled, upon completion of the application, at the policy's delivery, when the insurer receives the MIB report. Upon completion of the application. The free look period for life insurance policies issued in Indiana is ________ days, 10, 14, 30, 45. 10. With accidental death and dismemberment policies, what is the purpose of the grace period? Gives the policy owner additional time to pay overdue premiums. Gives the policy owner additional time to file a lawsuit. Gives the policy owner additional time to file a claim. Gives the policy owner additional time to provide proof of loss. Gives the policy owner additional time to pay overdue premiums. Jill is covered under two group health policies, one through her employer and one through her husband's employer. If Jill suffers a loss, which policy provision dictates the primary coverage? Replacement time, payment of claims notice if claim, coordination of benefits. Coordination of benefits. Which of these non-forfeiture options continue a buildup of cash value? Waiver of premium, extended term, reduced paid up, cash surrender. Reduced paid up. Life insurance replacement regulation protects the interest of the policy owner, the producer, the insurer, the NAIC. The policy owner. Long-term care policies sold in Indiana may exclude coverage for pre-existing conditions for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 18 months. 6 months. Which of these statements regarding health coverage for physically handicapped dependents is false? The dependent must have been over 10 years of age when the handicap was insured. The dependent must have been covered under the insured's policy at the time the handicap was insured. The dependent must rely chiefly on the policy owner for support and maintenance. The dependent must agree to periodic medical examinations at the request of the insurance company. The dependent must have been over 10 years of age when the handicap was insured. The accidental death and dismemberment provision in a life insurance policy would pay additional benefits if the insured dies of natural causes, becomes critically ill, becomes chronically ill, is blinded in an accident. Is blinded in an accident. If an annuity is terminated prior to beginning of the income payment period, the contract owner receives no refund money. The contract surrender value at the time all premiums paid up to the date of termination, reimbursement of all expenses deducted from the contract value. The contract surrender value at the time. Which of the following is not a valid reason for the insurance commissioner to suspend or revoke a producer's license? Producer returns part of a commission to client in exchange for a sale. Producer represents more than one insurance company. Producer engages in false advertising. Producer commingles premiums collected with a personal account. Producer represents more than one insurance company. A life policy loan in Indiana cannot charge a fixed of interest higher than 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%. 8%. In Indiana, which of the following must be delivered to a policy owner upon the sale of an individual life insurance policy? Insurer's AM Best rating, the written sales proposal, policy summary, and buyer's guide only. Policy summary and buyer's guide. In Indiana, which of the following is considered an unfair competition practice? Replacement, coercion, aleatory subrogation. Coercion. An insurance applicant must be informed of an investigation regarding her reputation and character according to the State Guarantee Association Fair Labor Standards Board Fair Credit Reporting Act, National Association of Insurance Commissioners. Fair Credit Reporting Act. What is the minimum grace period for an individual health policy that is paid monthly? 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, 30 days. 10 days. Eligible employees must be added to group health coverage no later than ______ days after their first day of employment. 30, 45, 60, 90. 90. In Indiana, the maximum fine that the commissioner can impose on a producer or company who violates a cease and desist order is ______ per violation. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. $25,000. How long does an insurance company appointment remain in force for? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, until terminated. Until terminated. In Indiana, the maximum fine that the commissioner can impose on a producer or company who violates a cease and desist order is _____ per violation. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. $25,000. The coordination of benefits provision exists in order to avoid duplication of benefits payments, avoid excessive hospitalization, lower insurance premiums, maximize patient care. Avoid duplication of benefits payments. L takes out a life insurance policy and dies 10 years later. During the claim process, the insurer discovers that L had understated her age on the application. Under the misstatement of age provision, the insurer will pay the death benefit in full, adjust the death benefit to an increased amount, adjust the death benefit to a reduced amount, deny the claim. Adjust the death benefit to a reduced amount. What is required for producers to sell long-term care in Indiana? 8 hours of post-licensing education specifically devoted to LTC, 12 hours of post-licensing education specifically devoted to LTC, a chartered long-term care designation, passing a separate examination specifically devoted to long-term care. 8 hours of post-licensing education specifically devoted to LTC. Which of these is an example of twisting? A producer maliciously aligns another insurance company's financial status. A producer misrepresents a policy to induce a policy owner to surrender an existing policy. A producer reduces the commission in order to sell a policy. A producer induces a policy owner with something of value to purchase a policy. A producer misrepresents a policy to induce a policy owner to surrender an existing policy. ABC Insurance Company has accepted a life insurance application which contains unanswered questions. The company then makes the application part of the life contract. In this situation, the insurer has waived one of its legal rights, issued a voidable policy, committed an act of fraud, assigned the risk to a reinsurer. Waived one of its legal rights. Which of the following is a requirement to obtain a non-resident producer license in Indiana? The producer must be at least 21 years of age. The producer's state of residence must have reciprocity with Indiana. The producer must be bonded in the producer's state of domicile. The producer must pass a special examination for non-resident producers. The producer's state of residence must have reciprocity with Indiana. What is the excise tax rate the IRS imposes on individuals aged 70 and a half or older who do not take the required minimum distributions from their qualified retirement plan? 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. 50%. Life insurance replacement regulation protects the interests of the policy owner, the producer, the insurer, the NAIC. The policy owner. Who elects the governing body of a mutual insurance company? Chairman of the board, bondholders, stockholders, policyholders. Policyholders. From what authority derives the requirement that an insurance application contains a disclosure stating that an investigative consumer report may be obtained on an applicant? Fair Credit Reporting Act. Medical Information Bureau. Part 3 of the Application Life Insurance Buyer's Guide. Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Affordable Care Act provides health coverage to dependents up to the age of 18, 21, 26, 28. 26. To continue health coverage for a newborn, the policy owner must notify the insurer of birth and provide the first premium payment within ______ days of birth. 10, 15, 30, 31. 31. Non-occupational disability coverage is designed for 24-hour protection. Those who are exempt from workers' compensation coverage: sole proprietors and self-employed individuals. Employees who suffer non-work-related disabilities, since work-related disabilities are covered by workers' compensation. Employees who suffer non-work-related disabilities, since work-related disabilities are covered by workers' compensation. Which of the following is a requirement to obtain a non-resident producer license in Indiana? Maintain a specific sales quota in resident state-owned real estate in Indiana. Be licensed as a producer in the producer's state of domicile. Pass a special examination for non-resident producers. Be licensed as a producer in the producer's state of domicile. During the course of an insurance business transaction, who does the producer legally represent? Producer insured insurance company beneficiary. Insurance company. Which factors are taken into consideration when an insurance company determines the premium rate for a whole life policy on an applicant? Geographical location, source of income, risk classification, marital status. Risk classification. P is a producer who is licensed in Indiana, but a resident of Michigan. In Indiana, P is considered to be a _____ producer, non-resident, foreign, alien, reciprocal. Non-resident. Life insurance coverage will frequently contain an accelerated benefits rider attached to the policy. What would be considered a qualifying event under these riders? Seasonal unemployment, short-term disability, medical condition resulting in a significantly shortened lifespan, divorce. Medical condition resulting in a significantly shortened lifespan. An individual who in any manner sells, solicits, or negotiates insurance on behalf of insurance companies for compensation is an insurance solicitor, adjuster, producer, representative. Producer. The insurance commissioner is authorized to enforce state laws relating to insurance, to pass state laws relating to insurance, to set insurance rates for foreign insurers, to set sales quotas. To enforce state laws relating to insurance. A producer's license may be denied, suspended, or revoked if the licensee engages in replacement of an existing policy, is found guilty of misrepresentation in obtaining the license, files for bankruptcy, does not meet a sales quota, is found guilty of misrepresentation in obtaining the license. What is required for a producer to be in compliance with Rule 13, Life Insurance Advertising? A potential applicant must be told that the producer is currently licensed for any life insurance transaction. A potential applicant must be told that life insurance is the exclusive subject of the sale. A producer is required to notify potential applicants that dividends are guaranteed. A producer is required to have all sales materials approved by the commissioner. A potential applicant must be told that life insurance is the exclusive subject of the sale. Which of the following statements regarding a tax-sheltered annuity is incorrect? The income from the TSA is received income tax-free. The amount contributed is deductible from taxable income. The interest earnings are tax-deferred. A tax-sheltered annuity is available to employees of nonprofit organizations. The income from the TSA is received income tax-free. When must insurable interest be present in order for a life insurance policy to be valid? When the insured dies within the incontestability period. When the application is made before the insured dies. When the application is made. Upon reaching the limiting age, a handicapped child can extend their health insurance coverage as a dependent, only if the child is incapable of employment and chiefly dependent on the policy owner for up to an additional 10 years. Only physically disabled, only if mentally disabled. Only if the child is incapable of employment and chiefly dependent on the policy owner. How many days is a temporary producer's license valid? 30, 60, 90, 180. 180. If a new life insurance policy is replacing an existing one, the insured is given the right to return for a full refund of at least _______ days after policy delivery. 10, 20, 30, 40. 20. As a condition for a loan, a bank requires the borrower to purchase credit insurance from a specific company. What is the bank guilty of? Coercion, defamation, rebating, misrepresentation. Coercion. A nonprofit incorporated society that does not have capital stock and operates for the sole benefit of its members is known as a fraternal benefit society. A stock insurer, a mutual insurer, the Life and Health Insurance Guarantee Association. A fraternal benefit society. The ________ must provide an insured with proper disclosure concerning the replacement of a life insurance policy. Compliance officer, underwriter, commissioner, producer. Producer. A policy owner is allowed to pay premiums more than once a year under which provision? Insuring consideration, payer, mode of premium. Mode of premium. What is Indiana's definition of life insurance replacement? A transaction in which coverage on an existing policy is increased. A transaction in which group life coverage is converted to an individual policy. A transaction in which a new policy is bought and an old policy is terminated. A transaction in which a policy owner reinstates a lapsed policy. A transaction in which a new policy is bought and an old policy is terminated. Which provision allows the policy owner to change a term life policy to a permanent one without providing proof of good health? Modification, conversion, exchange, adjustable. Conversion. According to Indiana law, how long is the free look period for a Medicare supplement policy? 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 40 days. 30 days. An example of rebating would be Returning a portion of a premium as inducement to purchase insurance, reducing the premium across the board for a specific risk class. A mutual insurance company paying dividends to its policy owners using intimidation in order to restrain or monopolize the business of insurance. Returning a portion of a premium as inducement to purchase insurance. An example of rebating would be a mutual insurance company paying dividends to its policy owners, reducing the premiums across the board for a specific risk class, offering a client something of value not stated in the contract in exchange for their business, using intimidation in order to restrain or monopolize the business of insurance. Offering a client something of value not stated in the contract in exchange for their business. A domestic insurance company in Indiana must be organized under Indiana insurance laws, own real estate in Indiana, write insurance on risks located only in Indiana, honor the charter of the NAIC. Be organized under Indiana insurance laws. In order to establish a health reimbursement arrangement, it must be offered in conjunction with other employer-provided health benefits. Limit the benefits to prescription drugs only be established. Be the employer limit the amount of money the employee can contribute toward the account. Be established. Be the employer. When a life insurance application is completed, a policy summary must be given to the applicant. The policy summary must include the insurer's AM Best rating, the producer's address, cash value rate, the premiums cost for basic coverage applied for. The premiums cost for basic coverage applied for. Which unfair competition practice involves a producer suggesting that an insurance policy is like a share of stock. Twisting, intimidation, misrepresentation, sliding. Misrepresentation. A whole life insurance policy owner does not wish to continue making premium payments. Which of the following enables the policy owner to sell the policy for more than its cash value? Cash surrender, life settlement contract, buy-sell arrangement. 1031 exchange. Life settlement contract. Which of the following is the most important factor when deciding how much disability income coverage an applicant should purchase? Applicant's occupation, applicant's monthly income, applicant's health, applicant's previous disabilities. Applicant's monthly income. A potential client, age 40, would like to purchase a whole life policy that will accumulate cash value at a faster rate in the early years of the policy. Which of these statements made by the producer would be correct? Straight life accumulates faster than limited pay life. 20 pay life accumulates cash value faster than straight life. Cash value accumulation of both 20 pay life and straight life depend on the insurer's financial rating. 20 pay life and straight life accumulate cash value at the same rate. 20 pay life accumulates cash value faster than straight life. The commissioner is appointed by the Governor, Attorney General, State Senate, NAIC. State Senate. All of these statements are true regarding a child qualifying for coverage under the Indiana Children Health Insurance Program, except must be a resident of Indiana to qualify, must be 19 years of age to qualify, family's income level must be greater than 150% of federal poverty level, but less than 200% must have been born in the United States to qualify. Must have been born in the United States to qualify. Basic medical expense insurance normally has a deductible, and coinsurance covers an illness but not an accident, pays for lost wages while hospitalized, has lower benefit limits than major medical insurance. Has lower benefit limits than major medical insurance. An applicant must receive an outline of coverage when an applicant is taken for a endowment, annuity, Medicare supplement policy, universal life policy. Medicare supplement policy. An example of an unfair claims settlement practice is making it mandatory that the proof of loss be provided for each claim, requiring a time for submitting a claim, paying a claim in a timely manner, turning down a claim without providing the basis of denial. Turning down a claim without providing the basis of denial. Jill is covered under two group health policies, one through her employer and one through her husband's employer. If Jill suffers a loss, which policy provision dictates the primary coverage? Replacement time, payment of claims, notice of claim, coordination of benefits. Coordination of benefits. Which of the following is an example of false advertising? An insurer advertising in an insurance trade journal, an insurance company publishing misleading information about its policy's provisions, a producer spending more than $25 on marketing gifts for a client, paid testimonials from celebrity endorsements. An insurance company publishing misleading information about its policy's provisions. An individual life insurance policy sold in Indiana can be contested by the insurer only during the first ________ years of the contract. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Which of these would he considered a limited pay life policy? 10-year renewable and convertible term, life paid up at age 70, straight whole life renewable term to age 100. Life paid up at age 70. K is looking to purchase renewable term insurance. Which of these types of term insurance may be renewable? Increasing, decreasing, adjustable, level. Level. An example of an unfair claims settlement practice would be requesting a third-party arbitrator to resolve a disagreement, paying a claim promptly after receiving proof of loss, misrepresenting insurance policy provisions affecting a loss, requiring the insured to give a statement under oath. Misrepresenting insurance policy provisions affecting a loss. Which of the following is a requirement to be eligible for a group life policy in Indiana? Group must be formed for a purpose other than obtaining insurance. Group must designate one of its members to be the named insured. Group must have been formed for obtaining insurance. Group must include at least 5 employers. Group must be formed for a purpose other than obtaining insurance. The agreement in a life insurance contract that states a specific sum of money will be paid to a designated person upon an insured's death is called entire contract provision. Consideration clause. Insuring agreement. Assignment agreement. Insuring agreement. If an existing accident and health policy is being replaced with a new policy, the decision to replace should not be based on waiting periods, commissions to be paid, exclusion and limitations, underwriting requirements. Commissions to be paid. Medicaid was designed to assist individuals who are federal employees, disabled, and poor health below a specific income limit. Below a specific income limit. All of the following statements regarding group health insurance is true except premiums are usually determined by the claims experience of the group. A master contract is issued for the group. An individual policy is given to each member. Group health insurance premiums are typically lower than individual health insurance premiums. An individual policy is given to each member.